My name is Dave Carrado. Well, I grew up in Pennsylvania, moved out here in '99 with the intention of coming out here just because I loved hunting and fishing. And so I've done everything in the state from antelope to mule deer to elk to turkeys, and I'm a diehard fly fisherman. Well, I tell you what, I've been putting in for premium tags in various states, not just Colorado, but Nevada and Arizona, and I've drawn one antelope tag ever. So I wasn't expecting to get this tag until I was in my 60s. It was on my 10th year, and I had actually been putting in for a completely different unit, and I don't know why, but at the last minute I just decided to try this one, and lo and behold, it worked out. I never get sick of just looking at them. I mean, on this ranch you've got elk, you got mule deer, you got whitetails, you got bear, and these moose are just something special. You just don't see that everywhere, and there's just a huge concentration of them in North Park, Colorado. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I found Earl at the 11th hour. I mean, I came up here scouting, and you can plot, the Division of Wildlife will plot the kills. And to be honest with you, nobody really wanted to deal with a moose hunter, and I think part of that was because they didn't have the moose. And the second I talked to him, I knew through his excitement level, he was the guy.
Right up here where that grass is, see the bull? So we're just gonna work the top of this timber. They tend to really like hanging out in that stuff a little more than the tall willows.
It was a darn good decision. I think he's got 30,000 plus acres, and it is the prime moose habitat in this area. If you're gonna hunt in this area, this is where you wanna be.
So we're in north central Colorado this week, and it's a great area for Shiras moose. Not well known across the country, but well known within the state of Colorado. The reason it's so good is in early 70s, this is where they planted the first breeding pair of moose out of Utah into Colorado. It's had obviously 30 plus years to really grow and get the genetics, and there's been no pressure on the moose. I mean, the tag system for moose is really only 20 plus years old, so they had 10 years on top of that. So, you know, you've got a lot of mature animals, you've got a really good, real strong population of moose, and obviously the age class is just perfect. The bull to cow ratio is incredible, so all of that combines to make just a great area for moose.
I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be this good. We saw moose right off the bat. I mean, I don't think we were out of the cabin 10 minutes, and you know, we were glassing a small bull and a cow, and it was pretty obvious that the rut was in full swing, and it was just prime time for these animals.
Yeah, it's good country. You just watch these willow bottoms, but these. Yeah, there he is. There's another decent bull over there.
Where are you looking?
Over to where that cow was.
Uh-huh.
Now there's two bulls standing where she was. You can just see them out in that little opening.
Oh,
see
yeah.
them together?
Yep.
The one on the front's, he's still small. So it's our first morning of the hunt here in north central Colorado. Dave Carrado drew the tag this year after 10 years, lucky devil. Our strategy today is really just out overlooking a lot of these drainages on the different creeks and rivers that are in the area, the willow bottoms. So as you can see down here, we've got several bulls that are probably surrounding one cow. So we're looking for two different bulls that we've got our eye on, we've been watching all summer. And in that process, we're now finding a couple more bulls that fall into that shooter category. We've seen one bull this morning that will go book. We're just not, you know, it's the first day, we got a lot of time. So we're gonna try to find these other two. They're no-brainers. When we see them, it's not gonna be wait, it's gonna be take them. So we're just gonna continue to check these drainages, work our way south a little further, and check another one of our ranches that's got several good bottoms on it where both of those mature bulls been hanging out, and see what we can get into.
This segment of Trophy Hunters TV is brought to you by Swagger Bipods, the bipod with moves.
Well, Earl knows his property. You know, he knows his property better than I do, and he knew what the potential of this ranch was. But we saw two bulls. One very, very tall bull, one that I would say was just a classic representative moose that I would have been ecstatic with either one of those. And, you know, they were both in sight, you know, in the first short portion of the hunt. And, you know, Earl said, you know, we can do better. So, you know, you always want to rely on your guide, but man, I got to tell you, I'd have been happy with either one of those. With a bull like that around, it would be a sin not to look for him.
Oh yeah, you know.
I'd be happy as hell with either of those bulls this morning, but it'd be a sin not to at least try.
That's why. I mean, like I said, if I didn't know these ones were around someplace, you would have shot one of those. So what we're gonna do, Dave? This is a piece of ground we have, and there's a little creek down in here, a small river. And it's a willow bottom, so we're just going to work the top of this timber and call and glass down in that bottom. Usually they're held up in there, I mean, especially with cows right now. This is an out-of-the-way corner, and you know, those bigger bulls can kind of push those cows in here and not be bothered by some of the satellite bulls around. So we'll just work slowly up this finger for a mile, mile and a half, and just call and sit and see if we can't get something to come out of that bottom.
Sounds good.
Okay,
let's do it.
It's a pretty good bull. There's a cow track back here. It looks like he's just dogging around in this timber. And that's fresh. I mean, that's probably this morning or a couple hours ago.
Let's go find him.
Yeah, he's around here somewhere. Right now, it's like hunting whitetails. I mean, you got to find the cows to find the bulls.
Right.
You know.
Our wind's perfect right now.
Yeah.
If we could get something to stand up. Well, when we saw this moose, there was no doubt about it.
He's huge, dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's a monster. God, look at the neck on him.
To pass him would have been just absolutely crazy. So we had to head him off, and he was walking through kind of a mix of willows and hayfields.
We had to wait for him to move off an area that was a little bit sensitive. It was pretty close to the road. Well, if we're gonna get him, we need to move.
You know, we had to relocate a few times, and just because this animal was moving, you know, getting down on the bipod and getting him in there for a clean, ethical kill, I had a lot of grass, a lot of brush in front of me, and I just did not want to pull the trigger on a marginal shot on an animal like that.
Wait. All right, he's clear right there. Can you see him there? He's standing right in that. Still too much grass?
I got too much brush in front of him.
Okay,
grass.
hold on. Let's let him. All right, just stay. As soon as he hits that willow, we're gonna move, okay?
Okay, you tell me when.
Just give him almost. Okay, let's go. All right, you go.
For a minute, I didn't think that was gonna work out. I thought we just screwed up on one of the best moose anywhere ever. And then we set up on the last clearing.
Right here, guys. Let's get ready. Okay, he's gonna come out right on that willow line right there.
I'm good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, to the right, see him? Let him come out. He's 143 where he's at. Let him come out and turn broadside. Let him come out. Nice shot. Nice shot. Oh my God.
Oh, so boring.
Yeah.
There's a strip of grass out there.
Dude, I was like, why can't you get on him? He's up high.
I could not get through that strip of grass.
You did the right thing.
I didn't want to take a marginal shot.
You did the right thing. Dude, he came right to us.
I was shaking like a leaf. I could barely load my gun on that bull, and that's something that, you know, I'll always remember.
He's done. That is a hell of an animal.
Thank you, old man.
I'm still in shock. I mean, just the sheer, I mean, walking up on an elk is one thing, and that moose will make an elk look small. The horns on this thing will not fit in my home. I mean, that's how big this animal is. And so just walking up on him, you know, I was in total shock. I mean, just what an animal. Just what an amazing, amazing animal.
This segment is provided by Big & J. The aroma is super strong, the range is super long.
My name's Earl Osterling. I'm the owner-operator for Ivory and Antlers Outfitters. We're located in north central Colorado in what is known as beautiful North Park. North Park, Colorado is known as the moose viewing capital of Colorado. There's a lot of moose here. It's where they were originally introduced back in the 70s out of Utah. We were fortunate enough last year to have a very good friend, Dave Carrado, show up, and he had a very coveted moose tag, bull moose tag in Unit 17. Dave was lucky enough to draw it in 9 years. He came up, we had a great hunt, ended up killing a 50-inch moose the first day. It was unbelievable.
Thank you, old man.
Well, it's early September, early to mid-September. Our good friend Dave, who moose hunted with us last year, is going to be back in camp this year. Only this year he's going to have a muzzleloader in his hand, and we're going to be after bull elk. So Dave showed up the day before his hunt started, and we got his muzzleloader sighted in. I like to have everybody shoot once they come in just to see where the gun's hitting. We're at 9,000 feet altitude, so not everybody gets to sight in for that. So he's going to come in, we're going to get shot today, and then from there, tomorrow we're going to go out right away. We've got, from our cow hunts that we've been doing the last couple weeks, we've got quite a few bulls that are now bugling and chasing cows. So things are going, we're going to go out, we're going to get right into it.
Well, we're muzzleloader hunting here, so we're checking our guns here before the hunt. Been shooting this gun all summer, just making sure that it's dialed in. We're getting ready to go on elk hunt.
So day one of Dave's hunt, we head out to a ranch that we've had quite a bit of pre-rut activity on. Right away, boom, we get into elk.
We were hunting in an area that had a lot of aspens, a lot of pine trees. It was very tight. We were playing a cat and mouse game with them.
Okay, let's move on. I thought we heard one back here. We were walking, yeah, but not since we set off. I mean, they're calling, we hear some bugles. We get set up, we're kind of in between 5 or 6 bulls that are bugling. And the plan is to just kind of work a little bit of timber and let them work into us. We're kind of right up against an area where they'd been bedding. So just on par, we get set up and here they come. So we're kind of pinned down here. We got elk all around us, 360. We've got a little bit of a swirling wind, but it's real thick bedding cover. They stopped talking kind of early. So we backed out on the edge of this meadow and we're hoping to catch them moving between timber fingers here. this afternoon and hunt him from a different direction. So evening comes, we have a pretty good midday, come up with a strategy of what we're gonna do. We go back in because we know there's 5 or 6 bulls bedded. We know right where they're bedded.
Our same bulls up here. Probably somewhere between 60 and 100 yards. We've been on him for a couple hours and he sounds off every 20, 30 minutes, but it doesn't seem like he's moving. And it was one of these things where, you know, we picked right and he went left. We ended up seeing him right before last light, and he was a really nice 300-inch plus bull elk.
There he is to the left.
He's running out. Then he had 3 little satellite bulls that kind of meandered about 180 yards in front of us, not shooters, but we finally got a look at the guy who was making all the noise, and he was a real beast. Yeah, he is tall.
So day 2, we end up coming up with a plan to go to the same ranch again. Obviously there's a lot of bulls there and cows are really filtering in. Just ease down where we can see that hay field, then just hold up there. If they come up through here, we're kind of right in the middle. If they're on the other side. Haven't heard a thing on the walk in, and all of a sudden we hear a bugle bark out, and I'm like, he's right in that corner, let's go. Stay directly behind me, it's the bull. So we make a move. It takes us 2 minutes to get to where we needed to get to. In those 2 minutes, he decided to jump the fence and move with his cows. So we make the move along with him. We parallel him. He's down in the hay meadow and the willows. We're on top of the hill. We have the advantage, so we think. We get up in what I feel is going to be where we're in front of him, and he comes up, but he comes up at about 10 yards out of range and moving. We gotta move. Wait. There's the bull. We've got Dave on his sticks. We've got him down on it. We have 2 or 3 setups, and we just can't close enough distance to get this bull. So once again, we get to watch him go to bed about 9 o'clock and just shut down, and it gets real quiet again.
Well, hopes were always up. I knew it was going to be tough, but yeah, those are heartbreakers when you get in range or you think you're getting in range. You know, we needed him to come about 80 more yards. I was comfortable taking a 100-yard shot on him. So, you know, I thought we would catch up with him again. I didn't think we had him spooked. I thought he sensed movement, but I don't think he ever really knew what we were. And, you know, I was pretty sure we'd catch up with him again, but we never did see him.
You know, for what we faced in the week Dave was here and in the week that we hunted with Dave, we had lightning storms where I had to sprint out a mile to grab the truck because we tried to hold up and the lightning was just too bad and we just didn't want to risk it.
We got a hell of a storm coming up here. We thought we were in a great spot, but there's no reason risking it, so we're gonna haul butt back down the mountain, live to fight another day. I hope.
But then we got into some warmer conditions, and warmer conditions really does limit the activity of the elk to first thing in the morning and last thing at night. But you know, for us, it did have an effect on elk movement for a couple of days, and we really didn't get to hear the bugling like we did that first day or the second day, which made it really hard to get back into position. You know, Dave hunted really hard, and he may not be going home with antlers or back straps in his truck, but he did get the trophy experience.